Welcome to my channel. This is JC Rock and Metal Reviews. My name is John. Today I have a new album review by the band Love Hate. The album is called Hail California, released on February 11th, 2022. So in this video I'll give a little background on the band, then I'll talk about some of the songs, I'll give my final thoughts, and I'll give my score at the end. So Love Hate was formed in 1985. The frontman's name is Jizzy Pearl. This was back in Los Angeles, so in the late 80s. They had some songs appear on like some horror movie soundtracks. Then they released in 1990 Blackout in the Red Room, and I still have my old CD. It's kind of like very beat up, but I think I was like maybe like 18 or 19 when this came out. And I was first getting into metal. I thought it was pretty cool. They had that hit on MTV called Why Do You Think They Call It Dope? And I think they had Blackout in the Red Room. That was another one that was on MTV. Afterwards, they released some other albums, but they didn't really have a lot of success. Now, fast forward, I think they released another album like in 2017, and this is the new album in 2022. It's called Hail California, and the band is actually called Jizzy Pearl and Love Hate. So the sound is the same as I remember from their first album, kind of like a sleaze rock, LA type of sound, similar to bands like Motley Crue or Guns N' Roses. But then there's also like a little bit of like alternative, like metal, or alternative rock, maybe like a little Stone Temple Pilots. But I'll be talking about all of that as I go through the songs. There are 10 songs, 41 minutes long album, so it's a pretty decent length. Album starts with 1 Hot Minute. It kind of has those like dirty, distorted riffs, reminding me of like 80s, the LA metal. So Jizzy Pearl's vocals, they sound the same as that I remember from his first album. And, he has that like, a very high energy vocalist. He has kind of like that raspy style. And I know he's been in other bands like for a short while, like Rat and Quite Right, but he has that type of singing. The next song was called Acid Babe. This one has like an AC/DC type of sound with a stop-start riffs. They sing the verses between, like the riffs, kind of like Led Zeppelin's Black Dog, that kind of thing. Has some heavy power chords and bluesy licks like in between. Next, Gonna Take You Higher. This one has an acoustic intro. I thought it was going to be a ballad, but it's not. Actually, the acoustic guitars in the beginning remind me more of like Smashing Pumpkins. Then it went to like a heavy driving riff, reminded me more of like that like Stone Temple Pilots, Vaseline, something like that. But the overall sound did have like that LA like glam metal sound. Next is Soul Mama, another song that reminded me of like AC/DC with the heavy bluesy chords and those raspy vocals. The song had some like faster parts, kind of like as the song progressed, kind of sounded a little more like Guns N' Roses or Motley Crue. They incorporated some grungy type of string bends, kind of like that, like Alice in Chains kind of thing, in some of the riffs, but overall it did have that like LA glam metal sound. Next, Hard to Say Goodbye. I think this is probably one of the ones that did stand out. I did like this one. It had an opening riff, reminded me of something like early Guns N' Roses. Really hard driving song with a catchy chorus, had that like 80s metal type of sound. Did have like a very repetitive nature of the main guitar riff, kind of made the song more memorable than the others. Next, When You're Gonna Come Home. This one has a hard driving guitar riff, a very like 80s type of sound. Lots of like bluesy guitar riffs and solos on the song. Next is Last Chance. This one they slow it down. This is actually the first ballad. It did have a sound typical of like early 90s ballad, but again reminded me more of like Stone Temple Pilots. So it kind of reminded me of something more of like that. But it did have those raspy, like LA glam metal vocals on it. So, pretty cool song. Next, Bruised and Battered. This one had a very sound similar to like Guns N' Roses. The song that came to mind was like Welcome to the Jungle. But the overall sound also had that LA metal sound, a little of that 90s alternative mixed into it. Next, Wanna Be Somebody. This one has some dirty, distorted, like hard rock riffs. Kind of sounds similar to other songs on the album. Are some backing vocals in the bridge, and he even says like "Take Me to the Bridge." Kind of reminds me of that Led Zeppelin song from Houses of the Holy. He said that, but a pretty cool song. And the final song, "Lonely Days Are Gone." Longest song, almost 6 minutes. It's a hard rocker. It has the heavy blues influence. The chorus had some backing vocals, and the song had an extended outro going into like a high energy like jam session. So in conclusion, I guess I thought the album was okay. I think if you like the first few albums, or if you like bands like Guns N' Roses, then you might like it. The one song that I did find memorable was Hard to Say Goodbye. I'd probably say that would be my favorite on the album, but otherwise, just an okay. It's a hard rock album if you like that kind of thing. I'll give this a 7 out of 10, and let me know in the comments, if you heard this album or what you thought. So up next, we'll have some anniversary reviews. I'll be doing Thick as a Brick by Jethro Tull, the debut album by Body Count, and then I'll probably do something else. Please remember, like, comment, subscribe. Check out some of the other videos. I'll stick right there, and I'll see you in the next one.